Your blood sugar can spike even when you do not eat sugar. Not because your body is broken, not because one food is secretly poisoning you, but because blood sugar is not controlled by sweetness, it is controlled by traffic. Think of your bloodstream as a highway. Every meal sends cars onto that highway. Some cars enter slowly, some enter fast, some come from obvious places, like candy or soda, but others come from foods that do not taste sweet at all. Bread, rice, pasta, potatoes, crackers, cereal. Even some healthy foods can become glucose once your body breaks them down. That is the first hidden truth. Your tongue tastes sweetness, your bloodstream sees glucose. So if you only watch for sugar, you are watching the wrong gate. First, the starch disguise. Most people think blood sugar spikes come from sugar because sugar tastes sweet. That makes sense emotionally. You eat something sweet, glucose rises. But biologically, starch can be just as important. Starch is made of long chains of glucose. It may not taste sweet in your mouth, but digestion can break it down into glucose molecules. That means a bowl of white rice, a stack of crackers, or a large serving of mashed potatoes can send glucose into the bloodstream even if there is no dessert on the plate. In the highway analogy, sweet foods are cars you can see coming because they are bright and loud. Starchy foods are plain trucks. They do not look dramatic, but once they reach the on-ramp, they can still add a lot of traffic. This does not mean all carbohydrates are bad. That is the lazy conclusion. Carbohydrates are a fuel source. The real question is speed, amount, structure, and what else comes with them. A whole food carbohydrate with fiber, water, protein, and chewing time enters the highway differently from a refined carbohydrate that has been stripped down and made easy to digest. Your body does not just ask, "Is this sugar?" It asks, "How fast is glucose entering, and how much traffic can the system handle right now?" Second, the speed problem. Blood sugar spikes are often a speed problem, not just a quantity problem. Imagine a highway with 10 cars entering slowly over an hour. Now imagine the same 10 cars entering in 5 minutes. The total number may be similar, but the traffic jam feels very different. That is what happens when food is digested quickly. Refined grains, low-fiber snacks, sweet drinks, and highly processed foods can move through the digestive system faster. Glucose enters the bloodstream quickly. Your pancreas responds by releasing insulin, the signal that helps move glucose out of the blood and into cells. Insulin is not the villain, it is the traffic officer. When insulin works well, cars leave the highway and enter muscle, liver, and fat cells where fuel can be used or stored. But if too many cars enter too fast, the highway can still clog before the exits catch up. Fiber changes that, protein changes that, fat can change that, food structure changes that. When a meal contains protein, fiber-rich plants, and minimally processed carbohydrates, glucose often enters more gradually. The highway still gets traffic, but the cars are spaced out. That is why 2 meals with the same carbs on paper may not behave the same inside your body. Biology is not just math, it is traffic flow. Third, the liver is not waiting for permission. Here is the part that surprises people. Your blood sugar can rise even when you have not eaten at all. Why? Because your liver can release glucose. Your body needs glucose in the blood, especially for tissues that depend on a steady energy supply. So the liver acts like a backup fuel station. When food is not coming in, it can release stored glucose from glycogen. It can also help make new glucose when needed. This is normal. Without this system, you would be in trouble every time you slept through the night. But sometimes the backup fuel station releases more glucose than expected. This is one reason some people wake up with higher blood sugar even before breakfast. The body may release hormones in the early morning that tell the liver, "Get fuel ready." That morning rise is often called the dawn phenomenon, especially when it is noticeable in people with diabetes. In our highway analogy, this is like waking up and finding cars already on the road before you opened the garage. You did not eat candy, you did not drink juice, but the liver sent fuel onto the highway because the body was preparing for the day. That is why I did not eat sugar does not always mean my blood sugar cannot rise. Fourth, stress can open the liver gate. Stress is not just a feeling in your head. Stress is a body signal. When your brain senses pressure, danger, pain, poor sleep, or illness, stress hormones can rise. Those hormones help mobilize energy. One way they do that is by telling the liver to release more glucose. From the body's point of view, this makes sense. If you were running from danger, you would want extra fuel available. The problem is that modern stress often does not end with sprinting. It ends with sitting in traffic, staring at a screen, arguing, worrying, or sleeping badly. So the body releases fuel, but the muscles may not use much of it. In the highway analogy, stress opens extra lanes from the liver fuel station onto the bloodstream highway. But if your muscles are sitting still, the exits are not pulling enough cars off the road. Traffic rises. This is why blood sugar can change after a terrible night of sleep, during illness, or during intense emotional stress, even if your diet did not change much. The body is not only reacting to food, it is reacting to threat, recovery, and demand. Fifth, muscles are the missing exits. Your muscles are one of the biggest places glucose can go. When muscles are active, they act like open exits on the highway. Glucose can leave the bloodstream and move into working tissue. When muscles are inactive, those exits are less busy. The same meal can create a higher traffic jam because fewer exits are pulling fuel off the road. This is one reason walking after meals can matter. It is not magic. It is not punishment. It is simply demand. When you walk, your muscles need energy. That gives glucose somewhere useful to go. Picture two versions of the same lunch. In one version, you eat and sit for 2 hours. In the other, you eat and take a gentle walk. The food may be the same, but the traffic system is different. In the walking version, muscle exits are open. In the sitting version, more traffic may stay on the highway longer. This does not mean everyone must exercise intensely after every meal. Intense exercise can even raise glucose in some people, especially when stress hormones climb. The point is not more punishment. The point is that muscle activity changes glucose traffic. A body that moves has more active exits. Sixth, dehydration concentrates the traffic. Sometimes blood sugar looks higher because there is less fluid in the system. When you are dehydrated, the glucose in your blood can become more concentrated. The number may rise not because you ate more sugar, but because the bloodstream has less water volume. In the highway analogy, dehydration is like narrowing the road. The cars may not have doubled, but the lanes feel crowded because the road is tighter. This is why hydration matters for metabolic stability, not as a miracle hack, not as a cure, just as basic infrastructure. Your body is a fluid-based system. Blood volume, circulation, digestion, kidney function, and temperature regulation all depend on water. If you are dehydrated, stressed, slept badly, and then eat a fast-digesting meal, the highway is already under pressure before the first car enters. Seventh, insulin resistance slows the exits. Now we reach one of the biggest reasons blood sugar can spike or stay high longer: insulin resistance. Insulin resistance means cells do not respond to insulin as well as they should. The pancreas may release insulin, but the exits do not open as easily. Glucose stays in the blood longer, and the body may need more insulin to move the same amount of fuel. In the highway analogy, insulin is waving cars toward the exits, but the exit gates are slow to respond. Some gates open halfway, some open late. The highway stays crowded even though the traffic officer is doing the job. This changes how the same meal behaves. A person with good insulin sensitivity may clear a glucose load more smoothly. A person with insulin resistance may see a bigger spike, a longer spike, or more morning glucose because the liver and muscle signals are not coordinated as well. This is also why blood sugar is not a simple morality test. A high reading does not mean someone failed. It means the traffic system is under strain. The useful question is not, what did I do wrong? The useful question is, where is the traffic getting stuck? Eighth, the hidden spike stack. Most blood sugar spikes are not caused by one thing. They are caused by stacking: a refined carbohydrate meal, low fiber, little protein, poor sleep, stress, dehydration, sitting after eating, insulin resistance, morning liver glucose release. Each one adds pressure. Alone, one factor may be manageable. Together, they can create a spike that feels confusing because there was no obvious sugar. This is why someone might say, "I only ate toast," or "I only had rice," or "I skipped breakfast," and still see higher blood sugar. The body is not reading the meal label. It is running the whole system. The highway does not care whether the cars came from candy, starch, stress hormones, or the liver fuel station. Once glucose is on the road, the body has to manage it. Ninth, what actually helps the system? The solution is not to fear every carbohydrate. The solution is to slow the entry, open the exits, and reduce unnecessary liver signals. Slow the entry with food structure. Protein, fiber-rich plants, whole foods, and less refined carbohydrates can create a smoother glucose curve. Open the exits with movement. Even gentle activity after meals can help muscles pull glucose from the blood. Reduce the pressure with sleep and stress recovery. A calmer body does not need to release emergency fuel as often. Support the infrastructure with hydration. And if blood sugar is repeatedly high, do not guess. Get proper testing and medical guidance. Blood sugar patterns can be affected by diabetes, pre-diabetes, pregnancy, medication, illness, hormones, and many other factors. If you have diabetes, take insulin or blood sugar medication, are pregnant, have frequent low blood sugar, fainting, severe symptoms, unexplained weight loss, excessive thirst, frequent urination, or very high glucose readings, work with a qualified medical professional. Do not change medication or diet aggressively based on a video. Final picture. Your blood sugar does not spike only when you eat sugar. It spikes when glucose enters the bloodstream faster than your body can move it out. That glucose can come from sweet foods, starchy foods, the liver, stress hormones, morning physiology, or a meal your muscles are not ready to handle. Your bloodstream is the highway. Food adds cars. The liver adds backup traffic. Stress opens emergency ramps. Dehydration narrows the road. Insulin directs cars to the exits. Muscles are the biggest exits, and insulin resistance makes those exits slower. Once you see blood sugar as traffic, the mystery changes. You stop asking only, "Did I eat sugar?" and start asking, "How fast did glucose enter? Where could it go? And what was my body doing at the time?" That is the real reason blood sugar can spike even when you do not eat sugar. The problem is not always sweetness. Sometimes the problem is speed. Sometimes it is timing. Sometimes it is stress. Sometimes it is sleep. Sometimes it is the liver doing its job too loudly. Your body is not trying to betray you. It is trying to manage traffic. And the more you understand the traffic system, the more control you have over the road.